Okay. Hi, and welcome back to the podcast. I am your hostess, Coach Dr. Ann Hester, board certified in lifestyle medicine and internal medicine. And I am proud to have my special guest today, Dr. A.B. Ogini. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ann. I'm really glad to be here.
So let's get started with having you introduce yourself to the audience.
All right. So I'm Abi Agini. I am a pediatrician, singer songwriter, and teen mental health coach. I'm also a parenting strategist. um, and I essentially came about doing all of this because I um, was seeing a huge burden of mental health difficulties in teenagers in my practice.
Mm-hmm.
And our healthcare system being what it is, being so overburdened, is just not able to cope. And I'm seeing that everywhere. So I train in the UK, but I'm hearing similar stories in the US as well, and even in Canada. Um, but I think what really um, highlights the need for what I do, the fact that I'm really passionate about helping parents and teenagers in the community, so even outside of work, is the fact that there's so much more that we can do at home in the
Mm-hmm.
community to help teens um, stay healthy with regards to their mental health. Um, and I was not seeing a lot of that being done. In fact, a huge percentage of parents feel ill equipped to handle mental health difficulties. And there's this um, general feeling that this is something that should be handled by professionals. And that is what I'm on a mission to sort of change, to say, hey, there's so much more that you as a parent, carer, educator can do with your teenagers. And I suppose some of the really significant things that I was seeing that really convinced me that I needed to talk about this over and over again is even when I saw teenagers that had gotten to the point where they were seeing mental health professionals and getting therapy, some of them on medications or wanting to start medications. When I started talking to them, um, it was always, so what has happened so far? What's been your experience with therapy? Is it helping? What sort of things have you been doing? And they all start with the same thing. They were told to keep a maybe a gratitude journal or a positivity journal or start journaling or
Mm-hmm.
j- some basic skills. I call them mental health skills, right? So essentially, these teens wait a long time, and even their parents um, wait a long time to get seen, and they still start with the basics that they could have already been doing at
Mm-hmm.
home. And until you master those basics, if you keep coming back to it, you have to master the basics, right? That just goes to show the importance of what we can start doing in the community, um, because it does go a long way to shape mental health, to build the skills that you need, you know. So I'm going to
Mental
stop there.
health issues are huge in
Yeah.
teens now. It's just a completely different ball game than when I was growing up. We had our challenges, but
Yeah.
now, oh my goodness, these teens, the things that they're dealing with, in addition to the peer pressure and the
Yes.
desire to look or act a certain way, having to push back on peers who want you to drink or do other things underage. Then we have, the social media bullying revolution. We have the devices. People are getting addicted to devices, doing crazy things if they don't get their cell phones. So
Yeah.
it's a horse of a different color for sure.
Hmm.
So
It
what
really is.
makes your coaching program different from some of the others?
A couple of things.
Mhm.
So I always say I'm not a therapist. And yes, there's this uprising of what we call coaches that that may not have gone the traditional route of actually being trained in psychology and the different therapies out there. Um, but what I there's something that I love and passionate about. It's music, right? And what
Mhm.
what I've been able to do is to take some of the experience and some of the stories that I've seen and turn them into music.
Wow.
And I found that that has a way of breaking through some of the barriers that can be in the way. Um, and my music is out on Spotify, is on all
Mm.
streaming platforms, so you can go listen. Especially the songs that I've released over the last 2 years.
Wait a minute, go back. You said they're on Spotify. How would people find it?
Yeah, so if you just go on Spotify and just search AB Ogini,
I need
you
you to
will.
spell that.
Yeah,
Can-
so AB Ogini, EBI, and OGINNI.
okay, now, one more time, because people may not have had their pen ready.
Yes.
So
Okay.
go ahead and do it again.
So if you go on Spotify and search EBI, OGINNI, AB
Okay.
Ogini. And to make it easier, you can use Lifeline. That's one of my, I suppose, most listened to songs.
You said
Um,
Lifeline?
Lifeline, yes. So
Okay.
Lifeline.
Okay.
It was the first one that I released on my upcoming album called The Harmony and Healing Project, where
That's
collection of
impressive.
songs on mental health. But essentially, the power of music is that it cuts through cultures, it cuts through barriers, it cuts
That's
through
that.
anger, it cuts through emotion, and it gets right to the heart of the matter. Um, so I use it in different ways. I encourage my um, some parents that I work with to listen to it with their kids and talk about the message that's in there.
Mhm.
Um, I encourage people to send the song to people that they know may be struggling. So there's a song called "Talk to Me," and essentially it's a reminder to people that hey, you don't have to do this alone. I'm here. Here's my shoulder. Talk to me, open up to me. You don't have to walk alone. That's the message of the song. So I tell people that we all struggle to be vulnerable sometimes. We struggle to share. We're like, oh, you have your own stuff. I don't want to bring my stuff on you. I'll be fine. That's what the song says actually. But you can tell sometimes that people are struggling. And one way to start the conversation is to ask, yes, but it's also to say, hey, do you know what? I came across this song and I thought about you.
Mhm.
So I ask people to actually send the songs to their friends or people they know may be struggling. I also use it in coaching sessions. Where if we're talking about a topic and I have a song that relates to the topic, we talk about it, right? Um,
Mhm.
I'm also a Christian, and I think that faith goes a long way
Tremendous.
in helping our mental health.
Absolutely.
And that is also a circle where people do not understand um, either the premise of mental health. There's a lot of misunderstanding on the topic. So I'm very open to working with Christians. And I
Mhm.
say, do you know what? In my program for teenagers called Strong Minds, Brave Hearts. We talk about some scriptures. I essentially say this program will equip teenagers with personal skills, mental health skills, social skills, and their spiritual skills, because we talk about things that pertain to our faith as well. But I think that goes a long way. And I think even in the business circle, health circle, coaches, there's this sense that a lot of our mental health is tied to our faith. So that is a huge part of what I believe and how I approach this topic as well.
I think that with all of the different forces coming against young people, I think that it's really vital to have something in addition to church. Church, we go to church every week. Church is, it's like the filling station, I call it. It gets me ready for the rest of the week. But it's still different to have somebody of your faith you can talk to, a professional that is not really there when you're worshiping with mom and dad. Somebody who can understand your challenges on more than one level. And I think that there should be a huge demand for what you do because, as a physician, yes, I will pray for you to get better when you're sick. But when you have pneumonia, I also want you to get antibiotics.
Absolutely.
And so it's important not to be afraid to ask for help. We all need help. All of us need help. Some of us just haven't figured out we need it, but we all need help. And I love what you do because there is such a huge need for that.
Absolutely.
So, how long on average do you say that it would take for people to see a change once they start working with you?
Oh, God. I'd say straight away because from session one, you live with tools that you can start using straight away.
Mhm.
And some of our sessions will have practical applications, breath work, affirmations. A lot of our sessions, you're actually saying your affirmations there during the session, and it's all personalized. Um, so a lot of the times, parents will say, "Okay, this is what we're really working on at home. This is what I think the gaps are. This is where I think we need to focus on." So we go through the whole program, but we keep coming back to those things, right? Um, and I love the change that I see in the teenagers that I work with. I love
And that was my next question. What kind of changes do you see?
more confidence, more. So I've been working with a 13-year-old, and he's also autistic, mildly autistic. Um, and you you come in, you meet them where they are, but you know where they should be heading. And it's just even seeing them begin to take ownership of, okay, my I have control over my emotions, over what I do, my time. It's just actually seeing that them come to that realization. These are the things that I can start doing. You know, I had a girl who, when we were talking about some habits and some things that we can put in place, to improve productivity, to stop some of the things that you keep getting into trouble for. One of the things that she said she wanted to really work on was not leaving things everywhere wherever she goes. So she said, okay, I got into trouble with my sister because I borrowed her jacket and, and then left it somewhere, So we came up with a a plan that's repeatable of, okay, you need to put like some post-its and some reminders
Mhm.
at home to always check, okay, um have I taken this, have I taken this, have I taken this, and when you're going to a place where you can't put you can't put up post-its on by the door at your
Yeah.
friend's house. Well, can you grab a friend to say, okay, can you remind me when we're going, or can you put things in place, just get into the habit of doing this check before you leave, to say, okay, do I have everything? Where is this? Where is that? Where is that? And just reminders to, okay, how did it go last week? Did you do it? How did you find it? What do we need to tweak? But just seeing that change, that ownership, And at the end, she sent me her vision board, and it was so beautiful. I
Mm.
mean,
Wow.
a 13-year-old who's already started to do vision boards.
That's
that, is,
incredible.
that is
I was just
incredible.
thinking, wow, vision board?
So just seeing that change, and sometimes it's slow because people are at different places, but just having the vision of, what do you want to do, where do you want to go? And I very quickly realized that I couldn't work with teenagers without their parents, because it has to be two-pronged. The parents need to know what's going on, but very quickly I began to see the impact that parenting styles can have on the child, and also see that many parents are also struggling, and sometimes they perpetuate what may happen in the teenager's life because of their approach to parenting. And
Mm-hmm.
I began to see that, hey, there's there's a lot that can happen there as well. There's a lot of support that parents
Mm-hmm.
need, because it's a vicious cycle. Even in practice, one of the early things that I learned as a pediatrician is some of the cases of child abuse where we had to investigate, and maybe even had kids taken off from parents. When you look at their story, they were also victims. And in the exact same way, some emotional behaviors, some emotional wounds are replicated.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to avoid or stop that from happening in a child, you very quickly realize you need to look at the parent and
Mhm.
support them as well, and help with that as well, to
That's,
help the
that's an
child.
excellent point because without the parents being on board, without the parent support, it seems like anything would be kind of short lived. So, what do you say to people when they're just not sure that this is right for them or it's the right time for them?
Very good question. So it's education. It's your job as a parent to get educated. So you've asked a great question about parents that may not feel this is for them. Well, is there any parent out there who will feel it's not for them to recognize when a child is sick or not? I'm very sure the answer is no. Every parent should know when their child is sick, but also they should know when it's a mild illness and when it's something serious,
Yes.
right? Um, then they should know how to manage the mild illnesses at home to keep it from getting worse. And that is what this is all about, because our physical health is as important as our mental health. Our mental health is as real as our physical health. And teenagers currently, the rate of morbidity and death, so morbidity is suffering, right? So it may not be death, but they are having symptoms, they're missing school,
Absolutely.
they are being admitted to the hospital. The rates of that and death from for teenagers currently, I think when it comes to mental health, suicide, it's top five, literally top five.
Mm. Wow.
So that means it's up there as diseases, cancer, things like that.
Absolutely.
It's inexcusable right now to not recognize the signs. And think about it this way: you just need to be exposed to viruses, to get a cold, right? They're out there. You cannot avoid them. So it's the same thing. Life stresses, schoolwork, a fight with a friend, or some very unsupportive friend circles at school. You cannot keep them in a bubble. They're out there experiencing life, right? That will come with its own pain problem. Part of our jobs as parents is to give them the skills to navigate that. And when we don't give them the skills to navigate that, we are creating an atmosphere for where they actually develop mental health difficulties.
So tell me, are your sessions live? Are they self-paced? Or tell the audience more about how things work if they want to work with you.
Yeah. So, first of all, for anyone who just wants to just dip your toes in the water, um, I have a podcast I'm launching next week. It's called the Harmony and Healing Project. We'll be
You
talking
said
about
harmony and healing.
Harmony and Healing Project.
Is that going to be on Spotify, Apple?
It's going to be on Spotify, Apple, in all the podcast platforms.
Okay.
And essentially, this is a podcast where we talk about mental health and mindset tools for raising today's teenagers so that we ourselves can be aware of them and we can note the serious things, the
Mhm.
mild things, but we can know how to support our teenagers at home. Some episodes will be directly to teenagers as well. So there might be some episodes that will like grab your teenager, or maybe listen to this in a car with your teenager, things like that. Um, but that will be a great tool to just note and follow along every week. I also have a tool. It's actually an assessment for parents called Discover Your Teen Connection Style. Um, Essentially, every parent, and your child doesn't even need to be a teenager to do this assessment. It just shows you areas that you are doing well at when it comes to relating with your kid and things that you might want to work on. So it brings clarity and it's going to give you personalized suggestions on how you
Mhm.
can start to work on it. And that alone can be a basis of um, working with me, having a chat with me after I do the assessments, just to say, okay, how do I go about doing this? And I don't understand this question. Is that really a thing? Like, why? Why is that a thing? That could, because doing that assessment comes with a free chat with me as well. Um, and I have some courses that I've designed for parents as well
Mm.
that are self-paced, so you can buy the course and just start going through it. But also, um, the the big one is the 12-week um, coaching program for both teen and parent. Um, and even though it's mainly focused at teens, I highly encourage parents to attend with their teen. There'll be some sessions where parents can go away, and then times when we'll call the parents back in.
Mhm.
And there's a lot that, I mean, it's 12 weeks.
Okay.
It's a great space to just chat about things, but also to support your teenager to build these skills that will last a lifetime.
Certainly. That sounds awesome. Tell the audience how they can access your courses or reach you.
Yes. So, um, I think the easiest way is right now to just go to guide.harmonyandhealing.co, because there you can download one of my freebies called Harmony at Home. And it gives you 25 family activities that you can do at home to improve mental health. When you download it, you can just email me. You get on my email list, you get access
Okay.
to the assessments and all of that. But I will also give you a link
Uh-huh.
to the assessment that people can actually start to do to
Now give
explore.
that URL again?
guide.harmonyandhealing.co.
Great. Okay. Do you have any last words for the audience? This has been very valuable, very important information to know about.
Absolutely. If you are not following me on Spotify, go follow me. There's a lot, a lot of music out there that's just good for the soul. Um, but yeah, I would love to also just hear from you on social media as well. So you can search for Abia Guinea Music, Abia Guinea. And I would love to hear from you.
Mhm. Okay, that sounds great. Thank you so very much for the valuable service that you provide that is so, so very much needed. And thank you for your time coming here today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, be blessed. Bye bye.